Hey y'all, welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a crochet tutorial for the first time, as well as show my brand new bee pattern. This will be the beginning of many bees that I'm going to make later, but I wanted to make kind of a beginner slash intermediate crochet level bee pattern because at some point everybody makes a bee. That was my first plushie per se. I first made a blanket, which I would choose that to not be your route to go the first time, but that's what I did. I would say bees are probably the first main thing that you would probably learn, or it just seems simpler because it's a ball, but you have to worry about changing colors, so that's also going to be in the tutorial. I have this same pattern on my Instagram as well, so if you want to go check it out. I have a PDF version on my Etsy shop. That one does cost money, but on my Instagram and my YouTube here, it's free. I remember when I first started crocheting, I wanted patterns that I could use that didn't have to cost money just because I didn't know if I wanted to do that. So I thought I would make this available as well as tutorial for anyone that wants to crochet a bee can use. One of the reasons I made this pattern, besides the fact that I love bees, is the fact that I hate sewing. Anyone who crochets, or even if you don't crochet, sewing is just annoying because you finish making all the products and then at the very end you're like, so if I make a no sew pattern, then you don't have to worry about sewing at all, so you're just, once you're done. So feel free to use this pattern and tag me on any of your finished products on Instagram if you would like. I would love to see everyone's finished products of what the bees look like. But before we get into today's pattern and tutorial, I wanted to show my most recent custom order that I'm going to be shipping out soon. Here he is. So cute. So this is from a repeat customer I have. Her name is Chelsea. The pattern is by Plushie Co. I bought the pattern on Etsy. It was not for free, but there are other patterns that are, but this one in particular I found on Etsy. So yeah, and this is the first time using colored eyes, sparkles. I normally just use the black ones, but she sent me an inspo picture that had the sparkle eyes, so I had to order some, and I actually think they're super cute. So I might have to make a few more plushies that have the sparkle eyes. Alright, well, I hope this tutorial is very helpful, and if you have any questions, please leave anything down in the comments. Thank you so much, and keep on watching. Okay, last thing. I know I just made a video talking about I was going to have market prep or market results this video coming here. Well, sadly, due to weather, it was rained out, and the market was going to be on the ground, so it was muddy and it rained in the morning, so it didn't have time to dry. So that market has been moved to the 24th and 25th of February. So I promise I will have my profits and how I did, but that will be in a couple of weekends from now. So I promise I will make that video and say how everything went, but it just got postponed due to rain, but I promise I'll make it. So hello everyone. So we're about to start the pattern here. I just wanted to show what the items look like initially, the materials you're going to need. So here's what the finished product should look like here. Something super cute. This is gonna be right here, no pun intended, for the video. You're gonna need some scissors, a stitch marker, and if you don't want to use a physical stitch marker, you can always use a piece of thread or a different color yarn so you know where you start each round, a yarn needle, and safety eyes. In particular, I'm using 15 millimeters. You're gonna have stuffing, thread for a smile if you would like one, and then size 6 yarn or super bulky, any type of yarn color combinations you want to do. I'm just going to show basic colors today of yellow, white, and black. These are all different colors. This is Bernat blanket, this one is loops and threads, and this is Parfait chunky. So I'm using 3 different yarns, but it'll come out looking like this, super adorable. So I will show every stitch at least once, and then from there I will fast forward. So let's get started. First, we're going to start with our color of yellow here, and then you want to make a magic ring here. I like to chain right here before we start, and then from here you're going to do 8 single crochets within the magic ring. From here, after you're done with that, you're gonna pull this string and you wanna hold and just pull. And as you see here, you wanna flatten it out, tighten it again. Make sure not to pull too tight because sometimes this yarn can snap and break. But once you get there, this is what you should have. So what you wanna do is, the next one is going to be 8 increases. After we go into this first stitch, we wanna put a stitch marker so we know exactly where we started. So we'll go here. Just do 1. And so you see how the stitch right here, we're gonna grab this. And right about there where our first stitch was, we're gonna slide it right here, clip it on. And then finish that first increase again by going back through the same stitch, doing another single crochet. So an increase is just a single crochet twice in the same stitch. So there's 1. 2. All right, so this is what it should look like here after round 2. So you notice I finished my 8th increase, and then here's the start of our next one. Take this out. So our next round, we're gonna do one single crochet, 1 increase, 8 times. So here, we'll go single crochet. We're gonna put our stitch marker back in that first stitch. Okay. And then we do an increase. Single crochet in the same stitch. There we go. We're gonna do that 8 times. So 1, that was 1. 8. Okay, so this is what it should look like after round 3. Okay, round 4 and 5, we're going to be doing single crochet around. So I'm just going to show the first few stitches, and then we'll meet back up after round 5. So we go here, 1, put your stitch marker, the first stitch, there we go, 1, 2, 3, and 24. So this is what it should look like after round 5, rounds 4 and 5 here. So actually next round we're gonna be doing is single crocheting around, but with the color black. So what I like to do for color change, there's a lot of different ways to actually do that, but in particular, what I do is the previous stitch, I don't finish. So right where you know you're about to finish your single crochet, you go under, over. Instead of wrapping around, pulling through, all you're gonna do is get your next color. So I need the color black here. And you're just gonna hold it here and then pull through the 2 loops. And then to tighten it, you just pull both this main black string and then the main of the yellow part together. And then once it's loose, then you kind of pull the smaller end in. From here, we're gonna take this out, and we need to single crochet around. So we're gonna just do it like normal. There we go, 1, cocoon. And this is what it should look like after round 6. So just to make it easy, let's go ahead and fix those. So you want to pull this out, just practice here. Okay, we just need to tie these together. We're going to tie these here. Okay, and since there's a little bit enough space, we're just going to tuck everything in so it's a nice little cocoon. So right now where our stitch marker is at here, you see the part where there is the color change. This will be on the bottom. So this will be the thing, it'll be at the top here, and this will stay on the bottom. Round 7 here, we're going to first do 10 single crochets. Now 10, this is going to be the 10th stitch, but we're going to be switching over to the color white for the wings. So once again, since it's the 10th single crochet, I don't want to finish it all the way through. I want to attach the next color, which is going to be this white here. We're going to do the same thing, have a little bit of side here, pull through both loops. Oops. We're going to pull through both loops here. We're going to pull both all the strings here so it's tightened. Okay, now we're going to do a bobble stitch. I will go through how to do it because it can be a little bit complicated at first and it might seem like a lot, but once you do it, it will seem like a piece of cake. So we're going to go around through the stitch, pull it through here, wrap around, only go through 2, first 2, 1, 2, you have 2 loops. 2 loops now. You're just going to repeat that same thing over and over and over and over. Wrap around, go through that same stitch, pull through. You should have 4. Wrap around, pull through the first 2. Now you have 3. So you'll progressively add 1 each time. So here's okay, at this point here, you should have 7 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I know it's a lot of tension and it was pretty difficult to do, but then you want to wrap around and pull through every single one of the loops on there. Just want to pull through here. All right, and then it's gonna look like this, and you just want to push the bottom part out so you create this nice little bubble look, and then you want to wrap around and pull through this one loop so it's up. So from here we want to finish off the stripes that we are currently in, so we're going to do 3 single crochets. So from here we are going to go into the next stitch. So remember, here's the white part, you want to go into the very next stitch here, right there, and then from there you're going to pull under there and do 3 single crochets. So like I said, you're gonna pull it through here, and that little loop that we created up top, pull it down, pull it through. That's 1, 2, 3, but we have to switch back to white. So once again, we're not going to finish it all the way through. I'm going to originally cut a little bit this here to do the same thing again. We get a little piece and then just pull it through both loops, and then we're going to tighten it. We're going to do the same thing we did here, exactly the same 7 loops. So I'll show the first couple again and then I'll speed it up again. So we're going to go over, through the next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through just the first 2, go again around through that same stitch, pull around, first 2, 3. All right, we have 7 on here. We're gonna do the same thing, wrap around, pull through every single one of them. And then we pop it up, we push it underneath, and then we're gonna do the same thing, the over, create the loop. And then from here, we are going to finish off the rest with 9 single crochets. Put the yarn here, go through the very next stitch, pull the loop through here, hold this back here, get the finished, and then complete the single crochet right here, pull tight. So there's 1, and then we're gonna do 8 more from here. Okay, from here, you should have a total of 24 stitches still. So we want to first also just once again tie those same things together to make sure everything is all cleaned up inside. So I'll just do that real quick and then cut to the next part. Okay, now that we're cleaned up, this was going to be the last stitch here, but we need to do rounds 8 and 9, which is single crocheting around with the color yellow, or whatever preferred color you are making. Once again, pulling through, tightening it here, do the same thing. We put stitch marker there. So I will meet you back at the end of round 9 after going through 2 rounds of single crocheting around. You should have a total of 24 stitches after both rounds. Okay, so now we are at the end of round 9. So normally I like to hot glue my eyes, but some people do not either have hot glue or they don't feel like hot gluing, they want to put it in the with the safety eyes here, they want to put it in with the clips. But so where I like to put it, so if you would like to do it here, I like to have it here. You want to count out 1, 2, 3, 4. In between 3 and 4 here, we're gonna place the eye here. And then I just like to have it where if some people ask like, oh, how much to count, I would just see like, what is the opposite side of this? That would make it look well. We're gonna put it right here. So then it should look like this. And so if you like where these are, you're gonna get the safety part. You're going to push though back here. Then you're gonna do where here is. And then just push it all the way here. Now, some people also will do this in hot glue, but once again, I normally just like to hot glue without clipping in if I'm trying to make a lot of the same thing, because then I don't have to worry about having to, if I want to change the positioning of my eyes, I can, but this is just the positioning of my eyes. that I have for my pattern. So afterwards, he should look like this. Oops. Looking at each other. When you look me in the eye. Okay, so after this, we have finished 8 and 9. We're gonna do round 10 and 11, but that is going to be with the color black. So I need to redo this here once again to change the color to black. So this is the last stitch here of round 11. We're gonna switch back to gold or yellow for the last time to finish up our bee here. We're gonna round 12 here, single crochet around. Okay, this is what he should look like after the end of round 12. So next thing you want to do is start stuffing. Sorry, man, stuff. Because after this, we are going to start decreasing. So I've done all my tie stuff off camera here, and I'm going to start using stuffing. Remember, we'll add more stuffing later, but this is just the initial stuffing to kind of give the body some definition here. So from here, you can always push these in from the side to make them more circular. So that's what I'm doing here. So round 13, we're going to do a single crochet and a decrease 8 times. Now there are 2 different ways of doing decreases. It's up to you which way you do it. I will show both ways. So first, do the single crochet here. Let me take some of this stuffing out so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so we have the single crochet, so let's go ahead and put our marker back there. So next is a decrease. So the way I like to do it is called an invisible decrease. So that's where you go in the front loop, push through the first stitch, and then the front loop of the second stitch, and then you just go over, pull through the first 2 or those front loop stitches. You'll have 2 on here, wrap around, pull through. And so you'll see here that's a decrease. Now make sure your next stitch is not here. That is being pulled by the decrease because you did 2 front loops. You want to make sure this is the next stitch. If you go back in this stitch that you decreased in, you won't actually decrease. It'll just be like you single crochet. So there's 1 onto this stitch over here. And the other way, which I'll show, I'll undo it, but you can also, if you don't want to deal with front loops, you go through the entire stitch, wrap around, pull through, into the next stitch, go through, pull through, and you have 3, and then you just wrap around, pull through all 3. That's also a decrease. But usually you can see those more, which is why the invisible one you can't tell as much because you're going through the front loop. So I'm gonna do that. So there's 1, and then I'm gonna go front loop again, oops, front loop, oops, front loop again, wrap around, pull through the first 2, you should have 2 loops, wrap around, pull all the way through, so there's 2. Remember, not this stitch that's being pulled, but the next available stitch. 2. 8. So this is what it should look like afterwards. So we're gonna have our last round here, and this is gonna be round 14, and this is going to be 8 decreases. So as you can see, I stuffed it a little bit, which I need to stuff a little bit more, but I'll wait till I do my decreases. Here we go. All right, last one here, 7, then sometimes it's hard with the stitch marker in the way. 8. Okay, so we have now officially finished. You may be thinking there's a gaping hole here. What the heck? So first let's stuff. We have more stuffing here. So off camera, you see this little bump here off camera as I was stuffing, of course, one of the strings. This type of yarn, sometimes called parfait, chunky, or other softer yarn, Chanel, other stuff. Sometimes this gets caught up or gets pulled, and when you pull it, it kind of bunches everything up and it's impossible to get out. So I had to quite literally undo half of my decreases to attach another thing, and then this whole bump thing came out. So I'm trying to have it look normal. So I guess these are just the realities of crocheting, but we're showing it here on the tutorial, why not? So once we've, let's say, we finished the last round, you're gonna cut probably like a medium. I wouldn't call this small, but I wouldn't call it a full medium. So let's say a medium amount here. So from here, we want to go around, fasten it off, pull it all the way through. And then from here, we're gonna tighten it. And then with this little extra fuzz and anything extra you have left, just stuff everything here. I usually put my yarn scrap. There's other scraps in there. You just can't see it right now. So this is it fully stuffed with little fuzzies here. So to finish, and these are how I usually finish most of my projects, because it just makes a cleaner finish. You're gonna use your yarn needle. I use these thicker yarn needles because I'm using chunkier yarn. So this is able to go through here, and then we just push my nail through here, and then grab it through the other side. So from here, what I like to do is sew it up close using the front loops only. And so from here, we have our neck stitch, and then from here, we're gonna go through the first front one, and then the front one of the second one. Pull through. Same thing here, front one, and then front of the other one here. Pull through. Keep doing that all the way around. Okay, until you get to the last one. When you're at the very beginning here, you don't go to the very end, so you go through there. And then all you do, this is your last chance to fill anything left over here. So I'll put my little yarn scrap, and then just a little bit left over here, just so it's not completely caved in. All right, there we go. Once we've gone through all the front loops, you're just gonna hold here and pull. Just pull tightly, and then it'll finish like that. So you would have no idea where you finished or ended. And then from here, you want to sew your end. So you go through the middle, and then push it out from any side. Pull through. We're gonna cut that end off. And we're gonna stuff this back in here. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We should officially have our no sew Oh, forgot. The only thing I guess you do sew on is, now I need the thread. You just need a small amount. You don't need very much for the smile. That's about all I use. Go through here. So, through. But I like to do a rounded one. So to do a rounded one, you're gonna do the same thing. Enter in the same spot. Except instead of going across, you're gonna go down to the area that you want to, and then up to the opposite side. Okay, and then enter through the bottom middle where you just were initially. And then you want to push the needle through the opposite side where you have it, and then from there, you want to use your same needle here to kind of push it out a little bit. So you always want to just pull it out, and then you have a rounded smile. So just from here, all you do is tie the ends. And then push those ends. So here is your final smiley product bead. So I wanted to make him a decent size so you could fully hold him in your hand, but he's not too small, but I don't think he's too big either. So I think he is super adorable. There we go. So this looks slightly different because I use different black yarns. This is Sweet Snuggles versus this is Bernat Blanket, which is chunkier. But they both give you the same cute look. Very happy, guys. Last thing I want to show is this is what it looks like underneath. This is why I keep it underneath instead of on top. This is what it's normally going to look like in crochet. I know initially you're thinking this doesn't look like it's lined up, but when you go around in a circle in a pattern, it's not going to fully line up every time, but for the most part, it will get you pretty close. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you would like another tutorial in the future, or you have a particular item that you'd want me to show as a tutorial, feel free to leave that in the comments and I'd be more than happy to do it. I plan on coming up with more patterns in the future. In particular, I have a custom order that I'm doing right now that needs a custom pattern, so I will be making that coming up soon, so I'm really excited to be doing that. But yes, any patterns that aren't on my Instagram or YouTube, you can find on my Etsy shop. So once again, thank you so much and have a good day. As always, deuces. Okay, so now that it is stuffed, you can kind of...
Oh!